Howdy from Arlington, Texas, y'all. Hope this video finds you well. Turning it around a little bit. Sorry that you have to see me, but I think it'll work out for the better for this particular video. So this is the Tony Black video response for what he's doing. He's got 3 questions you need to answer, and I am going to do that. I will put a link to his channel below. Make sure that you go check his channel out if you haven't already. Watch his contest video and maybe make yourself one. So the first thing that Tony wanted to know is if you had a day with a cup, and that being the Stanley Cup. If you don't know the tradition, every player from the winning team of the cup yearly gets 24 hours to do basically as they please with the Stanley Cup. So obviously, I'm never going to win that. Now, I have seen it. I have been right next to it. Mrs. Bean's Ball Card Blog and I got our picture taken right next to the Stanley Cup. Sometimes I use that as my Facebook profile picture. Love it. What a lot of these guys do is they take them back to their hometowns, do things like that. I have no love for my hometown. That place, I was so glad when I got out of that cesspool, and I'm still glad I got out of there when I occasionally look on Facebook and I just see the drama and all of that crap. So happy I got out. So I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I said something to Miss Bean's Ball Card Blog, and she gave me a great suggestion that I loved. So we've had babies in it. We've drank champagne out of it. You know, we've done all these different things with it. But what she said, and that's what she said. And I thought about, I liked it immediately. I'm gonna fill that sumbitch with, now this is only a 15-ounce can of Rico's Gourmet Nacho Cheese. I am not paid by Rico's to endorse this, but this is the greatest cheese ever. I'm a large man. I love cheese. My wife, the last few weekends, has made pretzels that we've dipped in this cheese. Well, I'm going to get, so this is only 15 ounces, but when I bought these at the big Walmart a couple weeks ago, they had 6-pound cans of this. Now, granted, I asked the wife, I said, should I just get a 6-pound one? She's like, well, unfortunately, you know, we're just a household of 2 and not a youth sports concession stand. So I ended up buying these. It would have been a much better deal to have bought that 6-pounder, I got to tell you. But I am going to fill it up with Rico's Gourmet Nacho Cheese, and I am going to dip every damn thing I can come up with in that, and I'm going to eat it. We're talking pretzels. We're talking, I don't know, taquitos. You just use some chips. Do whatever we want, but this is the greatest stuff ever. Now, granted, I'll do it in public somewhere. It'll probably be in Arlington. Hey, I don't know if I did my greeting. Did I do my greeting? Oh, I don't know. We'll see. That is what I'm going to do with my day with the cup. I am going to enjoy the win, the Stanley Cup win, and I am going to enjoy the hell out of some gourmet nacho cheese to the point that I'm probably going to be sick. But at that point, it's the off season. Who gives a fuck? All right. Top that, people. Top that one. The biggest Richard athlete you have ever met. And by biggest Richard, yeah, we mean the biggest dick. So mine came early. I had a bad experience with this guy. And to this day, I don't forget it. And it kind of irritates me when I see YouTube and Twitter and people just talking about how great of a guy he is. The biggest Richard sports ball athlete I've ever met is Manny Sanguillen. I said it. And some of you have talked about how nice he is and how much you love him. I've seen it in your videos. But you know what? He's a fucking asshole, or he was to me, so I'm always going to think he's a fucking asshole. I was like a 10-year-old kid at a card show with my mom. You know, got up, got his autograph because, hey, I mean, this, you know, he's Manny Sanguillen. He was, you know, part of the Pirates dynasty of the 70s. Dude, I spoke to him. He just grumbled, never looked up, signed the card, you know, took the card, signed it, and just pushed it across the table, passed to me. That was it. I won't say I was devastated. It's not like at that point in my life it was Dale Murphy or Will Clark, but yeah, I mean, to this day, definitely the biggest Richard I've ever met. And maybe he's a nice guy. Maybe he was having a bad day, but you have to remember that when you're in the public eye like that and you have a bad day, people are going to remember that. Again, we all have bad days, but I was a kid, and to this day, all I associate Manny Sanguillen's name with anytime I hear it, whether it be hobby related and it's cards, or it's his, I think he has a barbecue joint at PNC Park. All I think of is that guy's an asshole. So there you go. So the nicest. I have another prop. So you can see this is signed. Now, do you know who it is? I'm betting that nobody, until you saw that it says Daniel Weldon there, I'm betting that nobody knew who this was. Dan Weldon won the Indianapolis 500 twice, including his last run. And in 2011, he signed this for me. So the story is, I had access that I could get into pit lane or pit row, and he was out kind of a little bit talking to Sam Schmidt. And I mean, these dudes they were talking for like half an hour, but I stood there and waited because I wanted to get this helmet signed. In the meantime, there were these girls like yelling at him and all this and, whatever. And it was two girls and then there was a third girl, and we just started chatting, and she was telling me it was like this tradition at Indy every year. Like, this girl went up, asked Dan Weldon to marry her. Now, at this point, he'd been married, I think, 2 or 3 years. He says no, ha, 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 end of story, game over. But the thing is, he came over, he went to them before he went to me, no problem on my end. But the thing was, this is Dan Weldon, soon to be a second-time Indianapolis 500 winner. He knew these girls. Like, it was a thing. He knew who they were, and he stood there and he chatted for 10 minutes with them, and absolutely the nicest guy ever. And man, I meant to print something out to read, but I guess it didn't. I mean, he was an intense competitor, but a hell of a nice guy. He signed this helmet for me. I was ecstatic. I was in the stands, whatever it was, a week or two later. Saw him win the Indianapolis 500. He was in second. J.R. Hildebrand in the lead on the final lap, comes out of the last turn and just hits the wall on the side. He's coasting, but Dan Weldon, obviously at full speed, comes down, passes him, wins the Indianapolis 500 in such dramatic fashion, at least to me. We're sitting in the stands. J.R. Hildebrand's car kind of like stops almost in front of where we are. And because we're in attendance, we don't know what's going on. We don't have the TV feed. We don't know what the hell happens for, it seemed like an eternity, but it was probably 30 seconds. Like, we didn't know who won. We didn't really know. I mean, we knew J.R. Hildebrand had wrecked, but he had kept going. So did he cross the story? We just didn't know. And, I also went to the 100th running of the Indy 500. And I think that if I'm remembering correctly, this was the 100th anniversary. Yeah, 2011, because he won it in 2011. This is the year he signed it and won. And then, unfortunately, in October, ultimately passed away due to injuries from a wreck. But yeah, so this was the 100th anniversary, and he won, and I was there, and Mrs. Bean's Walk-Hard Blog and I drove up for the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500, and as cool as it was, and as fact that it was 500,000 people there probably, that's still my biggest of the races I attended, which I think I've attended 5 Indianapolis 500s. That was my biggest moment that I've experienced, the thing that I remember the most, the race itself, and then the second thing that I most remember about just the track and being there was Dan Weldon signing this for me. I'm so glad I got him. Like I said, he ran the last race of the year. There was a $5 million challenge, which he was up for half of it, and a fan was up for the other half. But I want to say it was maybe it was in the teens, maybe it was lap 13, maybe it was lap 15. I can't remember. Unfortunately, there was an incident and his car was flown into the air, and you know, he was killed, blunt force trauma to the head. But you know, kind of like Dale Earnhardt's passing, a lot of good came from it, improvements, and we lost another driver. I want to say probably about 6, 7 years ago. He got hit during a race by a piece of debris because the cockpits were open. Well, now they have a shield. There was a lot of debate about it, but man, it's so much safer for these guys. So, thankfully, racing deaths tend to come with some improvement, at least at the highest levels, to safety. So I'm going to leave it at that. I meant to do this at the beginning, but I didn't. If you're watching this today, as I release this on Tuesday the 15th, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on the 3B Collection channel, Herm and I will be doing our live weekly show, usually Mondays, but doing it on a Tuesday. He had some business to take care of, so we will be there tonight. Would love it if you all would come join us in the chat. Love the group we have. We have a good group of about a dozen guys and gals that come and join in the chat live, and we try to interact as much as we can. But obviously would love to, get some new folks in there. So would love it if you'd come see. And if you didn't see my video yesterday, I talked to my friend Jason. He's got 2 videos released on his channel, Preserve the Hobby, space between each word. Please check it out. There is a link in my video from yesterday if you want to check that out. And I will try to remember to link below today. And with that, that's what I got. I enjoyed this, Tony. I enjoyed showing off my gourmet nacho cheese and my Dan Weldon. It's kind of hard to grab this thing with one hand. You got to palm it. A Dan Weldon signed mini helmet, something I don't think I've ever shown on here. So it was awesome to get to do that. Appreciate the contest. And for me, it's just video ideas. Plan on doing another one for G's Mikey for his tabletop display contest. Hopefully I can get that up tomorrow. That's what I got. Gonna leave it from there. Don't be a dickhole. Be kind to animals. Let's get this pet overpopulation thing under control. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Adopt, don't shop. In puppy mills. And that's what I got to say. I'll see you down the road.